All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Gonna be touching on the top prop bets today on both PrizePicks and Underdog. Let's go and get into it. So on PrizePicks, we're going to have really three good bets. Obviously, this is going to be a limited slate. We're not getting that many sports. We're not even getting PGA today. So looking at right now, you guys can see I have college basketball pulled up. We have two good prop bets here, I would say, on paper. So we're going to start out with Dylan, the first one here, where both PrizePicks and Underdog are basically giving us the exact same line. The thing that worries me is that we look across the board, the projection data has it set at 35. The average sportsbook line would have this set at 33 or so, if you round up. So the line does seem to be correct. So it is going to be a tighter one. And if we look at his game log, we're going to see that he has been someone that lately, has been a little bit hit or miss in terms of that line that we are currently getting. But for the most part, I'm just not going to doubt the data. I feel pretty good about the lines that we were getting. Now, the other prop bet that we are currently getting is going to be Reese Beekman. We're going to see for his over fantasy score. Now, this one is certainly an interesting one that we are seeing here. And I phrase it that way because look at it. Underdog has this fantasy score line set at 35.5, whereas PrizePicks has it set at 32.5. Now, what the data is kind of telling me how I see this is you look at the average sportsbook line, it has it set at 33.3. You look at the projection data, it has it set at 32.2. And maybe that Underdog line is wrong, but we can see based off of his game log that he is a very consistent fantasy producer. So I really don't mind the idea of running out a middling opportunity. For those that are confused what middling is, that's when we have a case like this where we can bet the over on PrizePicks and then bet the under on Underdog, because again, it shouldn't be 3 for a prop line difference. That is a pretty solid milling opportunity. Now, this is not always going to hit. This is something that did hit, I think 2 days ago. I think it was Ryan Kalkbrenner who barely got his over on PrizePicks and then got his under on Underdog. That's stuff that will sometimes happen. Now, we are getting maybe one more good NHL prop. I'm fine with running out the under points for David here. Again, typically what I want to see is a prop that has a 54% likelihood to hit, so none of these are going to, and that's just the slate that we have today. That's the slate that we have without NBA, because while PrizePicks Underdog, they can be more reactive to good lines that are out there for us to benefit from. So there's just not going to be as many. I will say JT Miller for under shots on goal is decent. We can see he has about a 53.8% chance for the under to hit. Tack on the fact the projection data has it set at 2.2. That's okay. Then we got another one as well. Jason Robertson, basically the exact same thing as JT Miller, just the opposite. The projection data does like a little bit better for the over. So I'd be fine running these two out in a bet slip for the college basketball slip if you want to make it a 4-slip bet. So again, these are all going to be tight, but this is going to be my bet of the day for PrizePicks. We'll be giving you guys Underdog in a second. But yeah, we can see the data likes these two a decent amount, especially given the middling opportunity that we have with Beekman. And then Jason Robertson, I do like this one for the over shots on goal, but if you wanted to make it a 4-slip bet, you could run out JT Miller for under his shots on goal as well. Let's go in again to Underdog. We are getting a little bit better prop bets there in college basketball. All right, so looking at for college basketball, we're going to see that we are getting a bunch of good edges for fantasy score prop bets, but also maybe a little bit of assists, maybe a little bit of rebounds as well. So if you guys are someone that can't bet fantasy score, I know that is the case in some states. I'd be fine with that. But we can see we are getting some much better projected edges on Underdog today. And I do want to point out the one fantasy score prop where the over. Typically speaking, Underdog is just overvaluing college basketball props. So whenever there is a fantasy score prop bet where the data is telling us to bet the over, that does stick out to me. Now, I do want to call out that they are heavily favoring the over at 18.7 for fantasy score for sharp here. Thus, the line at 19.5 is a little bit too low. But I did want to point out that the projection data and the average sportsbook line are a little bit lower than the Underdog line. But still, again, the percent likelihood for him to get the over fantasy score is pretty great. That's why it has about a 54% chance that is a prop bet that I like as well. And so before I get into the bet of the day, just want to remind you guys of the promo code to use if you guys are a first-time Underdog fantasy prop better. I use the promo code 905. That'll kick back some money my way. But yeah, the line that we are getting, or the props that we are getting today for Underdog, I think are kind of straightforward. Again, I like to run these out as a 5-slip insured slip on Underdog, and I think we are gaining a pretty decent edge there. So we got one over fantasy score, and then the rest are going to be under fantasy score. These are all pretty decent edges. These two are teammates, so hopefully that game is a little bit lower scoring, right? That's really what we're hoping for there. That's going to be all for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Appreciate it. If you guys want to access any of the tools you saw in this video, head on over to 905sports.com. Available for just $10 a month. Thanks for watching. As always, let's keep cashing.